going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today we're going to be getting the rumor mill spinning, and I'm going to be bringing you guys 5 players who I believe Borussia Dortmund should target before the transfer window ends. This is by no means legitimate rumors. I'm just going to analyze a few positions where I think that we need to invest. I'm going to try to take a realistic look at some of these targets, and I'm not going to say, you know what, the first person we should target is Lionel Messi, because probably not going to happen. These are going to be rumors of, I think, players that might fit into the system, will give some options to Favre, and could potentially help the team push for the title. So in ranking of importance, we're going to start with our first transfer, which is the least important to us, in my opinion, on the list, and that is left back Wendell from Bayer Leverkusen. Now, I think Wendell would be a good signing because we could potentially offer a type of swap deal. Obviously, if we run the 3-4-3 formation, Guerrero is going to be our left wing back. But if we play in the 4-2-3-1, like Favre's looking like he wants to do, Wendell plays left back. He can sometimes play up at the left wing back position, but he's mostly played left back for Leverkusen, and I think that he would be able to slot in there. I think he's fast. I think he brings something to the team, and I think he's a little more defensively sound, obviously, than Guerrero would be. And the reason I was thinking about this is that we could potentially offer Shultz as a type of swap deal. Again, not saying this is going to happen, but I mean, Shultz obviously might just need a fresh start. He hasn't had an overly good season with us. In my opinion, he's not looking very great in our preseason here, and Leverkusen has been playing in a 4-3-3/3-4-3, so Shultz could new start, maybe adapt into that left back position, or if Peter Bosz wants to play with the wing backs, he's a wing back. So it was an idea of bringing a little more defensive awareness to the left back position, and that's the player I'm going to go with. Looking at our second transfer target, and we're going to be looking at striker Michy Batshuayi. And you guys are probably wondering, all right, Batshuayi, like, why him? And the reason I'm thinking Michy Batshuayi could be a potential signing for us is because he has played for us before. He obviously did well in that half season on loan. He's got such a positive attitude. He went from being a striker at Marseille to sitting on the bench for Chelsea. A couple loan moves didn't really work out. The best I've seen him play is when he played for us in arguably one of our poorest seasons in a while. And I think if we were able to get him on loan, because I don't know, obviously not a ton of money to be able to cash out right now, especially if we don't sell a Sancho, I think he'd be a good attitude to come in. He's Belgium. He's got the connections to Witsel, Hazard, Meunier, and I think he would just be able to come into the dressing room and surroundings that he's been to, come on loan, be a decent backup striker to Holland. And you guys might be thinking, well, what about Lukaku? And well, he's 15. He's probably not the backup striker we need. We're not going to be able to get him until he turns 16. And yes, we're all very excited for him, and I'm very excited to talk about him and cover him as well. But if you want to have a title push and compete, we need a backup striker. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We haven't had one in forever. And when we almost won the season a couple seasons ago, if we had a backup striker to Paco, potentially when he was out injured and wasn't able to get back to full fitness, instead of playing Götze there, who did have a decent season, but he's not a natural striker. We could have put in some of those chances that could have potentially got us over the line. We didn't have a backup striker last year, and we still don't really have one. I don't want to see Hazard playing in that position because it's no different than having Götze there. He's not a natural number 9, and I think that you don't know what's going to happen. If Holland has a couple injuries and he's still pretty young, maybe he needs a few rest, you need to have a solid striker to be able to go in there. And Michy Batshuayi, just for me, if you get him on loan, would be a fantastic addition to the team, and just that positive attitude would be great. Taking a look at our third target, and I'm going to go for Borussia Mönchengladbach's Matthias Ginter. And he was a former player of ours, and Dortmund is very well known for grabbing a player that we had, letting them go out, and either because they're playing way too well and they get picked off, or potentially they just go out because they're not quite ready for the team and we bring them back. And the reason I'm thinking that it's Ginter, because I'm thinking we could probably get him on a decent deal. We have a decent connection with the player. He may want to come back, and he's just a all-around great defender. He's improving each year. He got Gladbach into the Champions League, and I don't think you can argue with his performances. We can maybe offer Paslak, Wolf, Dahoud in another potential swap deal, depending on what the money is looking like. But I just think he's matured as a player. He's 26 now. I think he would bring a lot to this team and definitely help us defensively. Taking a look at the fourth target, and this one has been rumored with us a few years ago, even a little bit of late. I think he went over to Asia, played a little bit there, and he's a free agent right now, and that is Mario Mandzukic. He's obviously got that connection with the Bundesliga, playing for Wolfsburg, Bayern, and then going over to Juventus. But he'd be on a free transfer, 34 years old, has a ton of experience, and he would be a fantastic number 9 to back up Haaland. He could, teach Haaland a lot too, because he's been all around the world playing some fantastic, made it to a World Cup final. He's a great striker, and he would bring such a presence, and he'd even be a fantastic player to come off the bench in games. And that's something we don't really have right now. We just have, like, if we're down a game and we don't have a number 9 to come off the bench and go in those for those aerial duels, and he would just bring so much to this team. He'd be a sneaky signing on a free transfer. And I mean, he may ask for some big wages, and that might obviously end any negotiation. But if he was looking to have a run for a title and play in Europe, this could be a big opportunity for him, and he'd be definitely one I'd look for. And our final one, and this is the person I think we should target the most, and that's Boubacar Kamara from Marseille. And for those of you who don't know, right now, Marseille actually has to raise about $60 million in sales. So this is actually a realistic target. He is a 20-year-old young center back. He's been playing fantastic. He's improving each and every year. Dortmund has a fantastic history when it comes to young French players, and I don't think Kamara would be any different. I think he would slot right in there. He's already experienced in playing for Marseille. He wouldn't be on the bench, and I think he would be a potential starter to sit beside Hummels and Kanji, or even Zagadou in a back three, or even to be versatile. And he can also play in the center defensive midfielder position as well, which just adds to the adaptability of this player. And he could easily be available. I'm not sure exactly what price, but depending, I know Marseille needs to make some sales, and he's a big asset of theirs that could potentially come. But that's it, guys. Those are the 5 big transfers I think that Dortmund should potentially look at. I think those are, I mean, in my opinion, the center back and striker position are the most important. Potentially left back, depending on the shape that we're going to run this year. But those are the players I think. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me, if you have any other suggestions of who you think would be able to come in and play in those roles, or if there's even a position that I missed that you guys think that a player should come in and maybe center mid or out on the wings. Let me know. But if you guys are new around here, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you're new, and we'll see you next time.